watch a skit.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
I get the feeling there's not going to be treasure in this room, but at the same time, have a little eyeball just in case. No. Still allowed to fast travel, so... Smells like trouble.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Oh, he's got Swiss armor.
Yeah, that's the Sovereign armor. Still able to fast travel at this point.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danan astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to be a quick
This place looks like
event.
it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So
Did that one fail, or did you just not get a bonus
Hold
condition?
up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Okay,
Wait,
we forgot
though.
to send memes to Jordan.
Something doesn't seem right here.
Place.
That's what those annoying beeps were.
The powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself. Reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible?
A little bit spooky, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
What is this?
Power Ranger.
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
No further!
Vacuum blades! You picked the wrong fight! There!
I'll grind you into there!
Oh, hang on. I'm in a boss fight. Let's put boss fight strategy on.
That'll bring you down. A chain between heaven and earth. A wailing energy of lightning. Feel. Healing circle. Lightning condensed.
Sorry, trouble.
Is even wider.
What level are they? 48. Okay. Quite a big level difference.
Anything in armor is all mine. I can carve through armor. Denied.
Lunar Rondo!
Why are you targeting that one, stupid?
In a bind.
Oh, someone sent me a friend request on Discord. Don't recognise it, so hopefully it's a real person and not someone saying please buy my art, but place your bets now.
I never miss.
After being interrupted. You require a hand.
More for the stockpile. Take an illuminator. I'll do holy land. Right healing circle.
Smash you!
Chain between heaven and earth, not in your dreams.
Eat dirt!
What are you doing over there?
Radiance pierce. Out of essence of light astral energy. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy land. Radiance pierce between heaven and earth. A wailing energy of lightning. First aid.
Shine! Radiant light!
Oh, they share a health bar at least.
Force of regeneration!
Regenerate! Heaven and earth!
Let me free you of
Radiant
your
chain between heaven and earth!
Take this!
A wailing Banshee of lightning! Circle!
I'm in your debt.
Field!
Go on!
Take this!
Now you see what I can do! Catapult!
Take this!
Hurricane Force! Here! Wrapped in red! Just what the doctor ordered!
Ignite!
More with that
Double demon
Arch
fang!
Field! Confiscated! Watch them weep!
Vacuum blade!
It's time!
Eliminate the dark!
No further!
And again! Holy Glimmer!
Double demon
Holy
fang!
Lance! Outdoor!
This one's all mine!
Ignite! Vacuum blade!
Heal my weary companion!
Cure! Illuminate
Here
the
I
dark!
come!
Come forth! Holy Lance!
Thrust!
A chain between
Go,
heaven
go,
and
go!
earth!
Catapult!
A wailing Banshee of
Now
lightning!
you see what I can do!
In here!
Double demon fang!
More for the dark!
Double demon fang!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Lance!
Vacuum
You must
blade!
handle a chain between heaven and earth! A wailing Banshee of lightning! Here I go!
Ow, that was weird.
It's mine! One more for the stockpile!
Oh!
Lift you up! Hit! Recover! Or without
You're mine! It's on! Looney dirt!
I'm only getting
Take
started!
this!
Field!
Luna Rongo!
Not on my watch!
I'll grind you into
Vacuum blade!
Illuminate
bring
the
you
dark!
down.
Come
You're
forth,
mine!
Holy Glimmer! Holy
You're
Lance!
mine!
A chain between heaven and earth!
I'm ready! Pieces! Light burst forth!
Radiant Citizen!
Oh.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there. Who said you could touch that? Damn it! He's awake! I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing.
Check out a gun.
You can't even move right
Huge,
now.
isn't it?
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
It
Are
was
you going
funneling
to
power
claim
into
it's
or
because
something.
you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Voron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
Oh. That seemed like that might have been part of...
Like, you can't stay here.
Was the equivalent of the retaining wall. Not the right word. Load-bearing pillar. Load-bearing orb. Oh, please don't let me play as the mage by myself. I don't know how to. The AI is excellent with her, though. She's won me at least 3 boss fights. At least 2 of which she could have had backup, but the game didn't tell me how to switch characters.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Looks like you're getting murdered here, mate.
Let's go.
Obviously. Just a mild inconvenience having everything fall down and on fire around him.
Who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Yeah, you're toasted, is what you are.
Are you two okay?
Yeah.
But I think we thought he
be
was dead
fine.
at a different occasion, too.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the 2nd time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Voron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah. Not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming.
And now it
about
turns
Voron.
off fast travel.
As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena, and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Maybe they're just like, we've designed this area, we want you to admire it twice.
It's like nice, you have to see it twice.
Right, here goes!
Bring him down! I can carve through armor!
Illuminate the dark!
Fall back!
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
In a bind?
You're finished!
Grant me to strength!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Fires of passion
Shield
course
from
over
calamity.
flame.
Burn!
Barrier
Barrier! Luna Rondo!
Far enough! One more fall into the radiant depths! Do it!
Blow them away!
Lightning can dazzle!
Double Demon Fang!
Thunder! Vacuum blade! Between heaven and earth.
Do it! Go! In an instant! Impact block!
With this, I can become even stronger.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Resonate with the earth. Armor won't save you.
Only just started.
Lunarunga!
On your knees.
Where are you going?
There!
Can't
These
get out
ones
of
can
this.
run rings around us.
Burn in hell!
Radiant
Double
now.
Demon Fang!
Shield.
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes.
Excited.
Not a chance!
One more. Back into the illuminate
Too
the
fast!
dark.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Double Demon Fang!
Between heaven and earth.
Double Demon
Wailing
Fang!
Dandy of lightning. In here. More
Ready to go.
Benediction light.
Illuminate the dark.
No further.
Lunarunga!
I can do this all day.
Begin.
Vacuum blade!
Here I go.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Vacuum blade!
Sealed. I'll be saving this one.
Captivity. Pieces. Attack.
Here.
Through all
Armor
the pain.
won't save you. Can't get out of
There!
this.
Do it.
Law. Take. Blow them away.
Vacuum
I'm only
blade!
getting awesome. Holy
Double
glimmer.
Demon
Holy
Fang!
land.
Vacuum blade!
Illuminate the
There!
dark. That'll bring you down.
Hit
Not on
on!
my watch.
Strike! Eat dirt!
I'm ready.
There!
Grinwell. Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis.
Well then, let's keep moving.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
There's going to be another go talk to the citizens.
Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie. Built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
That doesn't have a
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that,
brush and
wouldn't
the good
you?
white ones in the next room. What happened to the good purple one?
You
Miss
can't
Harris
be
has taken it
serious.
back. It was hers originally.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over,
She gave it to me in the
I shall
first place,
return.
but it would be nice if she'd told us if she'd done
But
that.
not as your sovereign. Nor as a leader, the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. but I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
Deliberate if I need a fucking nap.
How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values. Resigned to being swept
I would die if I had a nap now. I've got work tomorrow as well, remember?
And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment.
No, I don't want a nap either. It's just I'm
first
tired.
instinct was to place my fate in the hands of
just
others.
digestion.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way
Possibly.
through life. But I didn't know
think
what
it's not
else I
just that,
could
it's
do
the fact
about it
that you have
either.
to walk there and back.
The ability to think for yourself
It's a
and
tiny,
be your own
weeny,
master.
weeny bit of exercise,
That's
but
what
more exercise than I
separates a
normally
slave
do
from a free
immediately
person.
after eating.
At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Edgelord.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But Yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey, then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead.
No
That's what
sleeping.
matters.
No
If my
sleeping.
brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as
It's
well as not a
discomfort. I'm just.
competition.
Ow! I had a sore tit yesterday as well. I'm just dying.
Kisara?
No,
Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things.
Start shaking yourself.
To be entirely honest,
I'll be
I
sick.
couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
I have
That
a quest
obvious,
for
huh?
you.
I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last.
You didn't do the dishwasher
It was
either
always so
earlier, so you've got
infuriating,
2 quests.
knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now,
It's a full load, so it'll
he's
want a full
finally
cycle on
beginning
the
to spread
dryer.
his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Hmm?
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans? When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
Just a little bit strange.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
Oh god. It's like a giant apple core. Look at this. Oh, it's gone again. Cool stuff on the screen. You put your headphones, you can sit on them, but not this. The other side's some pretty filthy, that's probably why. I went for the maximum effort food. I spotted you throwing out some cornflakes the other day. Got sad.
Very sad.
We haven't had them like a week or so. No, you haven't sealed them properly.
Remember if the last is
Oh, it's just dust. That didn't look good.
No, it's a good
flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
You okay, sausage?
Yeah, I'm just eating my cereal.
Sound like you're choking slightly. If you're anything like me, one bowl won't touch the sides. Depends how full the bowl was.
I seem kind of peckish. I've been just to say
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
We've got mince.
It looks
we
like
haven't got the
Lenegis in
ingredients
here.
to make a proper meal with it, I don't think.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
No, I guess we use the peppers for
Perhaps.
pad thai.
Got lasagna sauce,
Someone
but I
brought
haven't
us
got
here.
cheese.
The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed,
Still got
so
pizzas
that
and
probably
chicken
means they
nuggets in
aren't
the freezer.
hostile.
Yeah,
Still,
just do crap tonight,
why would
and then
anyone want to bring
tomorrow
us
night,
here?
put some of that tasty taco powder. And do some tasty
Hey,
tacos.
Yeah, I
Shion!
suppose.
I'm glad
If they
brought
wanted
that
to
back.
attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship.
I think maybe I was
We should see
buying,
where this
like,
path
20
takes us.
packets of it. Might have been enough to tip the
triggered the
scales.
system.
And I've been like, people do want it.
I think part of the problem was they were like £3 a sachet or something when they came out.
Yeah, they were doing like an offer.
Ah, Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people, does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was, or come undone. Before long, it was just
Thank you
part
for
of
doing
my
a
everyday
housewife.
reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live.
Surfaces in the kitchen as
Which
well.
isn't to
They're a bit
say I
grubby.
didn't feel
Fab.
alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there.
Family progression?
One day, we'll share a big warm
different
hug.
Styles
You'll
of
see.
racing.
I promise.
Like pro racing is like all the actual licensed stuff, like Formula One, air races, touring cars, power boats. Freestyles are like off-road stuff. Off-road is
Boo!
Off-road.
Off-road stuff.
What the? Are you out of
So
your
it starts
mind?
more like weird
This isn't the
vehicles,
time for games,
like jet
Rinwell.
boat, monster trucks,
Oh, come on.
derby,
How am I
doing
supposed to
air
resist
tricks,
with you looking all
and
jittery
street
like
racing,
that?
self-explanatory.
It's called
Car.
experiencing
Yeah,
feelings appropriate to the
like,
situation.
through busy
You ought to
traffic
try
and
it
things like
sometime.
Sounds hideous.
Yeah, but
Kind of like Need for
seeing you
Speed.
act all nervous,
I like that kind of racing
you're
more
making
than I
me
like the
start
pro
to feel
racing
nervous
stuff,
too.
where you just go around the track. And then weaving around
So why
traffic.
didn't it say family progression? That's what I was
Staying
trying to
alert
ask.
is important, but too
As
much caution
you
can cloud your
finish
judgment.
enough of the
Try to
races,
strike a balance.
You level up that percentage, and then when you hit a certain amount, it unlocks like a boss battle. That's a special unlock. And the family is the style of like racing.
Ah, okay. Spit.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round
Oh, I
planet
don't
like
know if you
ours.
saw there. Rena, we assumed
I never
it's where the
would have
Renans come
imagined
from, the
Rena
posh
actually
people.
looked like that.
We assumed it was
And
an
what's the
orb,
deal with
like
that giant
Planetar. It
flower
looks
coming
like a
out of
rotten
it?
apple core.
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
I wonder if the Renans ate all
Rena
their
and
own
Dana.
resources, and that's why they've
We
moved
were
on to
taught that
Danan's
both
planet.
worlds were spherical
Hang on a
bodies
second, this is just
that
Final
floated
Fantasy
amongst
IX
the
style.
stars.
Yeah.
And the heavens. But to think that they lied
Possibly.
to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them.
That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't understand, dwelling on it won't get us anywhere. What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice.
Listening.
Our ship was brought
My
here
eyes are
against our
tired.
will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
I thought I was going to
What did
make
you do to
dial-up
us?
noises there.
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh, goody. More riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true Sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
I was starting to pass out there.
I thought as much.
I wonder how long I've been sat not doing anything. Find the others. Yeah, I'm getting dizzy. This isn't fair. It's not fair, Kieran. I said we're on Desfuckle. Some stupid sounding place.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be
Fair, we don't have a
honest,
choice.
the conversation went on for so long.
It did. It went
I'm
on
not
so
sure
long I
I
fell asleep.
understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me.
Puzzle pieces.
How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrek 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrek 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Deg Faisal with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrek 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
Yeah.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use Astro Arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and—
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
I'm going to talk to the third person and maybe save
Does he really expect us to
fall
believe that
asleep?
Renans
That's
never
not
truly
fair.
existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
I'm not sure how much I missed of the
Then let's hope this is
main
our last
talk
revelation for a
when
while.
I'd closed my eyes and I was listening, and then obviously at some point my brain stopped listening and just went, oh, sleepy time.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
The Renans and the Danans are actually the same
If you mean the
species.
first
Well,
plan
they look
from
like the fucking
300
same
years
species,
ago,
they're
then
just
yes.
people.
Do you know
There's
what its main
alien
objective
group
was?
that's been
Yes.
Yeah,
It was to use Lenegus to siphon off Dana's astral energy
I
and send it to
figured I
Rena.
got that much from it.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we
very
had to
pretty
figure
car
out how
game,
to
but it's a
convert
car game.
Dana's energy so it would be compatible
I mean,
with Rena.
The main draw to me is the fact that
I
they've
take it the
modeled
solutions
most
to
of
those
America.
problems were to use the wedge for the collection,
Most of
and
the
then the
major
Sovereign
land is
and
shrunk
Maiden to
down.
convert the energy.
I think in total it's only about 300 miles.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was
There's a lot
overwhelmed.
bigger
Looks like
and
one
became
state.
frenzied.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helganquil that day.
Which aren't really very interesting in a car game.
Yeah, so this
For
kind
the
of
next
condensed down
plan,
the
we
major
tried to
landmarks,
recreate the Renis Alma,
like this is taking
but
place
we
in
didn't have
Vegas.
nearly enough of the other
So
non-dark
they're on
astral
casinos and
energy
stuff.
types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contests began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy.
She's dead.
At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much
Yeah,
even.
bad game
We should
pacing,
probably
that's
take
why.
it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too.
So
If
annoying.
we're
I
going
want
to
to play
do
my
this,
game, but
we
I'm
need to be
falling
completely
asleep.
sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds, too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Video game. I don't appreciate when you split up my party and make me wander around to talk at them. If you're gonna do that, just have it be another cutscene. That's essentially what it amounts to, isn't it? Too tired.
Tired.
It's not fair.